Hello, my name is Dr. Danielle Curry. I am a naturopathic physician and a craniosacral therapy practitioner based in Gresham, Oregon. And this video today is to talk about using a still point inducer. So first, still point inducer is a tool used in craniosacral therapy, and it's great to use between your visits on your practitioner's table. It's like getting a little mini craniosacral therapy session or a little tune-up to your craniosacral therapy system that you can do every day. Big key things with this are making sure that you have the device, that you know how to use it, where to place it, and that you make sure you're using it in a way that is relaxing and gentle for you. We don't want to push through or power through anything when it comes to craniosacral therapy. We're trying to really calm your nervous system down. That will calm your immune system down too. But we're trying to calm our nervous system down so that muscles can relax, our fascia and connective tissue can relax, and we can find more ease and balance in our system so that we can go about the act of living. And it's a very rare person who goes through life in a completely balanced fashion all the time. So this is a nice little tune-up we can do at the end of every single day, or a way to begin the day if you had a rough night's sleep. Okay, first, the device. So there's an official Upledger craniosacral therapy still point inducer. You can purchase this online at the Upledger Institute, upledger.com. They're usually a little bit under $30. And what you'll notice is that we have two bumpy surfaces here with a nice little valley in between. There you go. You can also make your own. So I have an official still point inducer that I use at home, but sometimes my neck is a little too tight or my head is feeling a little more tender than usual. And this is just a little bit too much. If it's just my head feeling tender, I can soften the surface by placing a towel or a washcloth over the top of it. If it's more that it is just too high for me, for my neck, then I'm going to want to use something that has a smaller, shorter profile. So what I also have is a lovely little sock with two really squishy balls in it. And we have the same kind of idea here. We have two bumps and a nice valley in between. Now, the shape of this is going to help us in figuring out where to place it. Here's a handy little skull here. Hello. So we are aiming for a spot on the back of our actual skull here. This purple bone here is what we call the occipital bone, the bone at the very back of your head. When you feel on the back of your head, you're going to feel a little groove between your head and your neck. You might be able to feel up your neck and feel some bumps in the middle of your cervical spine. And then there's this little valley, this dip. Keep moving up from there. And then you're going to come to a little protuberance. It's going to feel like a little bump sticking out on your fingers. That's the center of where we want this valley to go. And then if you feel away from midline from there, you're going to feel some kind of bigger, flatter bumps. That is where we're going to be putting the hills, the bumps on this one. So bumps to bumps. If I look at this skull, you can see this little protuberance here. It's a bump. You can see it's a little bump. And then on either side of that, there's these nice flat, kind of bumpy surfaces. That is where the still point inducer is going to be. Now, sitting up like this and just holding this here is not going to do much of anything. Let me turn so you can see on my head. So we're not down here on the neck. We're not all the way up here. We're right here. We're not going to do it sitting up. You're going to lie down. So you're going to lie down on the floor or on your bed or another comfortable surface. You're going to position the still point inducer right where we said to put it, and you're going to relax. If it feels painful, try something smaller and softer and see how that feels. Sometimes the smaller and softer ones are harder to do to use and feel any effect on a soft surface. So you might want to move to the floor if you have that accessibility with your body. While we're laying there, we just want to relax. So if you have a guided meditation you like to listen to, some relaxing music you like to listen to, or if you want to meditate on a point of focus, such as your breath, your third eye, the tip of your nose, whatever it might be, something relaxing. We're not thinking about our shopping list. We're not going through what you should have said in the situations that happened today. You're not going through planning through what you're going to be doing at work or anything along those lines. This is a time to just really relax and reset. It's nice to set a timer for this. We want to stay on this for anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, no longer than that. We don't want to be on it for a really long amount of time. Then we're kind of having that thing where too much of a good thing isn't a good thing. If it's making you feel restless, if your head feels like it just wants to wiggle and wobble off of it, go ahead and let that happen. We're not being like, I have to make it to 15 minutes. This has to happen. Just as long as it is feeling therapeutic and good and similar to having a craniosacral treatment on a table. If you've never had one, maybe have a treatment before you actually try the still point inducer would be a good idea. What is the still point inducer doing? It is inducing what we call in craniosacral therapy land a still point. So your craniosacral rhythm is a really gentle rhythm, and it feels like a gentle swelling and retraction of your skull and your whole body. And this impulse is coming, we believe, from inside your skull. So this spot for the still point is targeting one area where your craniosacral fluid is produced, called the fourth ventricle, called the CV4 still point. So fourth ventricle still point. And what we're doing with these balls, bumps, and that valley is we are encouraging your head to get a little bit more narrow, to go fall down into this valley a little bit. That's going to create a gentle resistance on that swelling, and it's going to create a slight pause in your cranial rhythm. What that pause allows for is it allows for everything to relax and come a little bit closer in. And then when your cranial rhythm really wants to expand, it has a lot more energy behind it. And we see a bigger, wider expansion. When you stay on the still point for 5 to 15 minutes, this is going to happen a few times. So we're doing a series of still points. Each time, your cranial rhythm is going to become more robust and wider. This also allows for different restrictions inside your skull to sort themselves out. You might feel things all the way down to your toes. You might not. It really depends on how in tune you are with what's happening inside your body physically. The more craniosacral therapy you have, the better this actually becomes. You can feel more. Over time, this is going to be strengthening our whole craniosacral system and creating more robust rhythms, which is going to give us a more robust stress response. It's going to make it to where our body can adapt to the changes in life a little bit easier. And it's going to get you between your sessions on somebody's table with a little bit more ease. Okay, if you have any questions, please go ahead and send them to me. My email address is below this video if you're finding it on YouTube, or if you're getting it in my newsletter, you already have it. All right, thank you so much for spending some time with me, and I hope you enjoy using your still point inducer.